So with everything going electric, many car enthusiasts, including myself, feel like that cars are becoming a means of transport rather than an expression of someone's personality. However, in some rare cases, there are some cars that were destined to be electric. And a car that was always destined to be electric was the BMW 7 Series. Introducing the all-new 2023 i7. My name's Salvatore, and this is Exhaust Notes Australia, and in this review, I'm going to explain why the i7 or the 7 Series should have always been electric from the get-go. So the competitors to the i7 are the EQS, the Audi e-tron, and also the Porsche Taycan. To be fair, after having this car for a week, I really believe that the BMW i7 is the king of that category of cars. Price is around about $297,000 before on-road costs. So you're looking around about over $300,000. And to be fair, it's quite a bargain. And I'll get on to that a little later on in the video and explain why this is such a good car for the money that it's worth. Also, there's two variants of the i7 xDrive 60. You have the Excellence and you have the M Sport. The Excellence will have more chrome and the M Sport's a bit more sportier. I don't know how you can add more chrome to this car when there's already a lot of chrome to begin with the M Sport. But I'm not going to delve into that. Let's talk about the overall design of the car. Starting with the front end, I think the car looks really nice. In person, trust me, it looks a lot better than in photos. If you can get over this massive grille, I know people make a big deal about it, but it suits this car just due to the sheer size of this thing. It is 5.4 meters long. It's longer than a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, which is ridiculous. I couldn't even fit this car where I live in our car space, so I had to actually park it at my folks' place. So about the front end. So we have these split headlights at the front here. So you've got like this crystal effect in the front headlights, which makes the car look really nice and classy and just finishes up nicely. And then you've got your actual headlamps down here. Then you've got this aggressive front bumper because it's the M Sport, and then this huge grille, obviously. And then you've got this ginormous behemoth of a bonnet, which, to be fair, makes no sense on an electric car because there's actually nothing under here. You don't have a front boot like most electric cars. It just stores all the electronics for the BMW. So you got a massive hood that does nothing but store the electronics. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like I said, it is really long, but it looks good. I really like the iX inspired handles, door handles. So you don't have door handles on this, which is really nice. They're just hidden. And then I just like how the car just tapers off at the end. It's just really nice. It's very futuristic, and that's what I like about the i7. It suits for what it is. It's an electric high exec car, big super saloon, and it just looks the part, and it's really, really nice. I do like it in this color. It's quite nice, and it's not too in your face, but like always, would prefer this car, especially this car, to be black. Black windows, black paint, and black wheels. Would have looked really cool. Talking about wheels, you have 21-inch alloys, and I do like the design. I do like on this, for example, they haven't just done what every electric car has, and that's just a slab of plastic or a hubcap. And they've actually thought of designing a really nice wheel to suit this car, and I do like these wheels. What I don't like is all the sensors on the car make the car look like it has a disease. There's just all these dots everywhere. I think they could have covered those up a lot easier or a lot better than keeping them exposed. But yeah, let's go towards the back and we'll check out the rear end of this car. So yeah, the car's very boxy. You might be thinking that, and I like that about the car. It actually suits, like I said before, it suits what this car is, and that is a big saloon, a big limo, and it looks the part. It has presence on the road. Trust me, this thing turns heads. I've had it, like I said, for a week, and people look at this and people stand and go, whoa, what is that? And especially at the rear end here, I do really like the back end of the car. I like this 3D effect with the LED tail lights. And then I like this rear bumper that does not have fake exhaust. It's electric, doesn't need fake exhaust, so they've just come up with some sort of fake diffuser. I'd much rather that than fake exhaust. So BMW, good job there. And then you also have this cool little effect. So BMW have brought over what they had on the iX to clean the rear camera on the back. The BMW logo actually pops out, washes that for you, which is quite neat. And then you have a hidden kind of boot release button to open up the boot. Oh, car's locked. So that's why it's not opening. I'll show you that a bit later on. But other than that, guys, I really like the whole overall design. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Other than that, let's jump into that front seat and see what the interior has to offer. Before we talk about any of the design in the interior, or go anywhere for that matter, let's just talk about how you open doors in this car and close doors in this car. So you don't do what normal people do and open a door and use your human ability to pull something and use your strength. No, don't worry about that. The car will look after you. You press a button to open the door and you press a button to close the door. Why open it? You're spending this money, let the car do everything for you. Now let's just talk about design. Okay, so I do like the overall design of this car, and especially when it comes to the interior too. Again, it matches the outside. So it's futuristic in here, but it's also very traditional at the same time. And that goes for the way the seats are designed and how comfortable they are, to the way that the dash is laid out as well. I love how they've brought over from the iX this curved display. It's beautiful, it's clear, and it works very well. Then there's the way that they've hidden the air vents. So most car manufacturers, they actually, design air vents to suit the overall dash of the car, and they go to extreme lengths to make it look really cool. Where BMW is just hidden away. And you can adjust them here with a little knob, or open and close them with the haptic feedback button on the dash. Talking about this dash and where that haptic feedback button is, you have this continuous light bar that continues from the dash to the doors, that is covered in crystals and illuminates depending on what modes you choose, and has 15 million different light combinations, which is ridiculous. And then there's the build quality. The build quality is nuts. Everything's sturdy, everything's solid. Nothing is cheap in this car. I love the leather. I love the way it feels. I love these seats. I honestly feel like you're sitting at on a lazy boy at home. And they are massage seats as well. They also heated and cooled. And the cool thing about the heated functions, not only is the seat heated, but the middle armrest gets hot and the door panel gets hot. The steering wheel heats up as well, which is pretty cool. And talking about the steering wheel, I love this steering wheel. I know people don't like BMW steering wheels because they think they're too thick. I really like this steering wheel. I think it's really well designed and I like the way it looks. I hate that it's got haptic feedback buttons on it and most of the stuff in this car. And I hate how most cars have that these days. I'd rather physical buttons and as well as physical climate control buttons. The car does come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and wireless charging. It also has USB-C charging in the middle armrest, so you open it up and they're there. You don't have to open the glove box as well. Don't worry, there's a button for that as well. It just opens up for you, but you have to close it yourself. So that's about it. And then the roof lining is covered in this Alcantara effect, and your vanity mirrors have a light in them if you're very vain and you want to look at yourself. And then there's the crystals that are used throughout the whole car. So we have the crystals on the door like the iX for the seat adjustments, and then on the middle console to control the iDrive and the volume control. BMW like to call it crystal clarity. It's quite fancy. And then you have plenty of room for your stuff. So there's big door bins. Like I said, there's the middle console that opens up like that, and it's split, so you can split it. And then you have square cup holders. I don't know why they did that. They should just made them circular, but they're square. But yeah, plenty of storage and plenty of adjustments in the seats, so you can get very comfortable in the front of this car. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be driving this car, you're going to be driven. So this is going to be mostly where your chauffeur is going to sit. You're going to sit in the back seat and get entertained by a 31-inch TV, which we're going to find out what that looks like and how to use it really soon. So let's go check it out. Okay, before we address the masterpiece of this car, which is right above us, I do want to touch on practicality in the rear here, because the main reason why you're buying this car is to be chauffeured around in. And there's plenty of room in the back here, heaps of knee room, heaps of foot room, heaps of headroom, so you can get comfortable very easily in here. You've got this squishy pillow, heaps of adjustment in the seat, which you use your iPad in the door to do so, which functions, this has heaps of functions. You can easily change the modes of the car. You can call on here, there's telephone, you can also adjust your seats like I just said, there's blinds, there's lights, there's the air conditioning in the back here, which you can adjust, which you have air conditioning vents down here and in the door, so you can adjust all that. It's all adjustable, so it's pretty cool. Then you've also got a coat hook hanger here, which you can plug in a hanger to hang your coat, which you have to buy off BMW, which I'm guessing will cost a lot. And then you've got a USB-C charger right there as well. Then you've got heaps of storage in the middle here, in the middle armrest, with 2 USB-C charging points. Then you've got 2 cup holders and a wireless charging pad. Then you've also got ISOFIX anchor points if you need to convince the wife that this is a family car as well. Besides all that, I do want to mention one little thing before we get into that masterpiece, and I just want to say that the design of these speaker systems I think are really cool. I really like how they've done it with this aluminium effect, and if you were paying attention when we're looking at the back of the car, they mimic that design that was on the back of the rear tail lights, which I think's pretty cool. But let's get into the TV. So first of all, I'm going to hit modes on my little iPad on the door. Then I'm going to hit theater, which closes all the blinds. And then that theater mode music starts playing. Your seat reclines into a more comfortable position, and the 31-inch TV drops down from the ceiling. I still can't believe that this is in a car. Now, you might think that the driver cannot see behind him. Well, don't worry, he's got plenty of cameras, like I showed you guys before, so he's got no excuse to crash the car. Okay, so the TV itself, there's heaps of functions on it. So you got Netflix, you got Prime, you got YouTube. There's plenty of stuff to do on here. And then if you want to work while driving, you can plug your computer into the actual TV and use 2 screens because it's got a HDMI input. Which made me think, if you have kids and your kids are getting restless, they don't want to watch TV anymore, they want to play the Nintendo Switch, well, don't worry, just plug it in. See, BMW has made a very practical family car, but at a cost. Let's go check out the boot. Before we do, I just want to show you guys something as well. Now, say you got kidnapped and you can't get out. Well, don't worry. There's a quick release handle at the bottom here to open the door. So it's not all electric. So I just wanted to make sure I did mention that. But let's go check out the boot space. Okay, boot capacity. So you have 500 liters of boot capacity, which is plenty for all the luggage that you're going to be carrying if you're going on long journeys. And then you've got all your wireless charging stuff that is stored underneath all our bags, which there's, yeah, all our camera gear, so it's all under there. Now you might be wondering why I have all the doors open and the boot open. Well, I want to show you a party trick. How cool is that? You can close all the doors via the key. I just think that's really, really cool. I love this car. Like all electric cars, you have to do a sneaky launch. So let's do one. So that is 0 to 100 dealt with in 4.7 seconds. Now that's thanks to 2 dual electric motors, creating 400 kilowatts and 745 Newton meters of torque. However, this car isn't about its specs. It's not about its power, nor is it about its handling. Look, it handles very, very well for a car that weighs 2.7 tons, right? It is a land yacht after all. But that's thanks to its 48 volt anti-roll bar system that allows for absolutely no body roll. Like, I'll take these corners in sport mode, quite fast, and the car just grips. It grips and it just holds flat. But you're not buying it for that. You're buying this car because you're going to spend most of your time in that rear seat. And that brings me on to the reason why I think the i7 is the perfect example where a car being electric makes sense. So with a car like this, a high executive car, big car, electric motors make sense because you don't want an internal combustion motor making noise. You want silence, you want comfort, and it is. Well, thanks to the air suspension, you don't feel any bumps. And it's so comfortable and so sublime that you honestly feel like you're sitting at home on your lazy boy. And I just love it, and I love it for that. So the BMW i7 xDrive has plenty of safety features. It has lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, all the bells and whistles. But one of the features that I love the most is the autonomous driving. Now, all you have to do is keep your hands on the steering wheel and the car will drive itself for you. It'll keep you on lane and it'll literally steer for you. Now, in other countries like the US, they don't have to actually have their hands on the steering wheel, which I wish that was the case for us here in Australia, but we have to keep our hands on the steering wheel. So I cannot take my hands off the steering wheel or the car will start to buzz and give me feedback because I've taken them off. For example, if I take them off slightly now, the car will start to go a bit crazy. Yep, there we go, it's telling me to put my hands on the steering wheel. So unfortunately we can't, but in the States they can. All right, let's talk about range because that's the most important thing after all when you're buying an electric car. First of all, the car has dual motors allowing for all-wheel drive and it has a 106 kilowatt hour battery. However, the range isn't too bad considering it's got a 625 kilometer range, claimed range from BMW, and apparently its consumption of electricity is 18.4 per 100 kilometers. And I don't think that's too bad at all. In terms of charging, you can go from 10 to 80 in 34 minutes with a fast charger. I wouldn't recommend charging it off a wall socket because it's just pointless. So in terms of its range and its charging capabilities, that's not too bad at all. And for that, I think it's a prime example where, again, like I said previously, where being an electric car makes sense perfectly for a car like this. Things that don't make any sense in this car, and I'm just gonna say it because I have to say things I don't like. I can't just like everything, right? Number one, everything's operated through the infotainment system. Now that's from the regenerative braking to the climate control, and it's just irritating. Like for example, if the regenerative braking is too much for you, and for example for me it is, I can't stand it when it kicks in. I hate one pedal driving. You have to go through a number of functions before you actually find it, and then it's just annoying. Why couldn't there just be a quick button here just to get to there? Then there's also this boost paddle. Why this paddle? It's got one single paddle here. It makes the steering wheel look unfinished. And if you're wondering what it does, what it allows the car to do is if you're in, say, relax mode or comfort mode or efficient mode, in those modes, you don't have the full 400 kilowatts. That boost mode allows for the full 400 for 10 seconds. But in sport mode, you have it all the time. Why not just have the 400 kilowatts all the time? Why have it only in a specific one mode? I just think that's quite silly. And then there's the steering wheel. The steering wheel is lovely. Everything about it is great, but then it's got a center line on it where most steering wheels in sports cars have a little like white strip here, yellow strip or red for the center of the steering wheel. In this case, BMW has just blanked it out instead of just covering it completely with leather. I just don't know why they've done that. I have to tell you guys about this. In terms of modes, there's so much selection. So let's talk about them. So number one, you've got personal, which is pretty cool. So if I have personal mode, all the lighting changes and it's not that crazy. But if you hit sport mode, everything turns red. All the BMW signature colors come up on the screen and it's just, yeah, it shows off as a very sporty car. But like I said, don't want that in a car like this. And if you put your foot down, you sound like you're going into warp speed. And that's thanks to Hans Zimmer. Remember, all the music and all the sound effects in this car are thanks to Hans Zimmer, and it's really cool. Then, if I hit efficient mode, which is just boring because efficient mode is boring, and I don't know why that's, yeah, anyways. Expressive mode, the roof will open up, and then there's some expressive music playing in the background just to relax you. And all these fancy colors come up on the screen, and then the veins in the ceiling, all the LED veins start to light up. It's really cool at night. See, it's like an orchestra. I put my foot down and it just becomes louder. And then you have relax. Relax has to be one of my favorites. So the blinds close, the massage seats come on, and then you have this relaxing music in the background. And if you put your foot down, it gets louder. But I don't understand why the faster you go, the more relaxed you are. But anyway, besides that, it's cool. That's relax mode. Then you go into theater mode. This is pretty cool. So you hit theater mode, all the blinds close, and then it's like you're in a cinema. the music becomes louder, all the ambient lighting turns to a nice soothing effect so that you're not too in your face when you're watching your movie on that 31-inch plasma screen TV that comes off the roof. And also the speakers in the back of the passenger seats in the back vibrate and massage your back when you hit theater mode. Remember, there is 35 speakers in this car, and it's all thanks to Bowers and Wilkins. Great sound system, love it, and it's just insane. Then you hit digital art mode. Now, digital art mode is very like in your face. It's like crazy colors and like everything's like just in your face. So I would suggest, instead of taking the kids to Vivid, just put them in an i7. It's the same thing. All right, so I am going to show you guys how easy this car is to maneuver. So the car does come with 4-wheel steering, which makes maneuvering this car in the city or any tight spaces really, really easy. And there's plenty of cameras. The car has endless sensors. So if I'm just doing if I'm gonna try to park here, I get a reverse, you've got a reverse camera, you got 360-degree cameras, and when you get closer to things, the car will beep and play up on you and telling you that you're getting closer to things. It's impossible to curb a wheel in this. I don't know how the previous people who reviewed this car curbed the front left tire. Honestly, it's impossible. Like, there are so many sensors, so many cameras that even a toddler could park this car. So yeah, there's heaps of sensors and heaps of cameras, and the 4-wheel steering makes it easy to maneuver and fit into tight spaces. One cool feature which I can't show you guys is that the car actually can park itself. So what it does is it will get to a destination. Just say you're coming home and you're parking at it late at night, and every time you leave that spot or park in that spot every night or every morning you leave, and it's a pain in the bum to get in and out of, the car will remember it. And then when you get back there, it will park itself for you. All you do is press a button, the car will remember exactly how you maneuvered the car to get into that specific spot, and it will park it there for you. And then you can even pull the car out of that spot by using your phone, which I can't do because I haven't downloaded the BMW app to get the car to maneuver back and forth. But the car is that insane with the amount of tech that it has on it that it can literally do whatever you want, which makes this car insanely easy to maneuver when you've got to consider the sheer size of this thing. So my verdict, well, let's address the price tag to begin with. So it is $300,000, and I know that is a lot of money, right? But let's think about what you get. You get a lot in this car for that hefty amount of money. Like, you get a 31-inch TV. They're not any, no car has that, right? That's like Pimp My Ride style. They put that in cars. So you've got a 31-inch TV. You've also got TVs in the doors. You've got so much in this car for that price. And like, let's compare it to other cars we've done. We did the Bentley Bentayga S, right? That was a $500,000 car, and this 7 Series, I feel like trumps that car, and just in sheer design and quality too. So hat off to BMW with the quality. It's just really, really good. And then there's the statement that I have to address that I said at the start of the video, and that's going to upset a lot of motoring enthusiasts, and that is that some cars are destined to be electric, and I think that the 7 Series was always destined to be electric. You've got to remember, guys, this is not a car you drive, you get driven in. So you're not caring about handling, speed, or any of those things that an internal combustion motor will give you. It's all about being comfortable in this car and it being as quiet as possible. And being electric, it does that, and it does it well. You know, so if you're looking to buy a high-end saloon car, a big executive car, I think this is the car for you. So go ahead and put your orders, or go buy one. Buy an i7, they're fantastic. Other than that, guys, let me enjoy my 31-inch screen TV, and we will catch you on another episode of Exhaust Notes Australia. Ciao.